Chevrolet sells over 500,000 Silverados annually in the USA, which means these trucks are a huge staple in the US truck market. And if you're choosing between this, an F-150 and a Ram, with gas prices, fuel efficiency may be a #1 concern. So today we're going to find out just how efficient this Silverado is in a real-world highway fuel economy scenario. This is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today we're running the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado High Country with the 6.2-liter V8. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look around this thing. And this is just about Chevy's top dog in the 1500 series truck market, the High Country, equivalent to a Platinum Ford. It's got just about every option inside and out. Under the hood, we have a 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8 that is sent to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and this is a 4-wheel drive truck. So a pretty well fully loaded vehicle here. If you want to learn more about the Silverado in and out, we will have a link to our full review in the description, as well as a sound system test and anything else that we decide to shoot on this Silverado. After spending some time this week with this truck, I want to say that it's my favorite in the segment, but I don't want to make that bold of a claim until we figure out just how efficient this 6.2-liter is on the highway. So let's go ahead and get started with our test. See our power running boards coming down there. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's fuel economy test, which gives this particular Silverado 20 MPG on the highway, only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know that some people like to actually take their cars on proper road trips where you get on the highway and do normal highway speeds. So what we're going to do today is go out 25 miles and back 25 miles, averaging 70 miles per hour for a more real world figure. A couple things worth noting for today's test. Outside temperature is 83 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to be running the climate control inside the cabin at 73 degrees auto. Tire pressures have been set to their factory door placard indicated 36 PSI, and we'll also be using the same gas pump both times, using the same 3-click filling method for a nice consistent readout. All right, pulling up here, let's go ahead, hop out, and get our first fill. I will say, actually, before I do the first fill, I was very unpleasantly surprised to find out that this 6.2-liter Silverado takes premium fuel, so that may be another thing to consider. However, the Silverado is available with tons of different powertrain choices, and we're just testing the 6.2 today, so we shall see how it does. And just over 12 gallons in there for our first fill. All right, let's go ahead and get started. You can see our super cool startup screen here. High Country. Yeah. That makes it worth putting premium fuel in this thing. No, it doesn't. Okay, air conditioned seat off, climate set there to 73 degrees auto. Apologize for the fan speed, it's gonna be a little bit obnoxious there. And we're also going to go ahead and get our drive summary going. Off we go. So today we're going to be running with everything in normal and everything in auto. So I've got the 4-wheel drive system in auto, and I've got the car in normal mode. We only have 3 drive modes on this Silverado. We'll go through them real quick. We've got off-road, sport, and normal. And as I said, we'll be leaving this thing in normal mode. All right, so the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. I'm not going to be doing any sort of crazy Honda Insight-like maneuvers or drafting or anything like that. I'm simply going to get on the highway, set the cruise control to a GPS-indicated 72 miles per hour, and just drive to see what sort of real-world fuel economy we can get in this 6.2-liter powered Chevy Silverado. Now I'm just going to hold it steady here for a second at 72. And I'll set the cruise control once I stop recording because the GoPro interferes with the Super Cruise, the radar system that watches your eyes. So we'll hang pretty steady here at 72 for our first highway impressions, and then I'll go ahead and use my Super Cruise. But after driving this thing for a few days, I must say that I'm very, very impressed with everything that Chevy has to offer in the Silverado. The ride comfort, just the overall quality of materials in the interior, the minimal amount of road and wind intrusion in here is very nice, and you can definitely tell that this is a very premium vehicle. I'm sorry to say that I don't get the same premium fuel in an equivalent F-150. I'm very, very much leaning towards this Silverado if I were to actually purchase a 1500 series truck for myself. You can see our readout here in the middle. It's reading about 12 MPG so far, but we've only been going for 1.8 miles. And just to reiterate, EPA is 20 MPG highway with this Silverado, so we'll have to see if it can actually accomplish that today. And of course, the mention of Super Cruise is going to make this pretty much effortless for me because, of course, not only does Super Cruise drive the truck itself, it will also initiate lane changes for you automatically, and it has radar cruise to keep a proper distance from the car in front of you. So all of the things to make this journey nice and smooth. All right, guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and get to driving, or get to Super Cruising, as I should say, and I'll catch up with you here in about 45 miles. Finishing up our drive here in the Silverado High Country, and I've got to say, Super Cruise made this entire 50-mile journey completely effortless. I was able to just sit here, listen to my music. Oh, thank you, Jeeves. I was able to just sit here and listen to my music and really just enjoy this 50 miles, and not to mention the pure comfort of this Silverado High Country. Even though we are running on a set of 22-inch wheels, it's still immensely comfortable, this thing. I've got a lot of comfort here from these seats, not to mention the heated and cooled functions if you aren't doing a fuel economy test, of course. But overall, just a really nice experience here in this Silverado. On the cluster here, we are reading out 21.9 MPG, so almost 22 achieved as far as the car knows. But of course, we won't find out the true number until we go back to the pump, top this thing off, and see what it actually got. But overall, super impressed. And I'm confirming now that if I had to choose between this, an F-150, and a Ram, I don't know, guys, I think I would have to have a Silverado equipped with Super Cruise. I would like to drive a couple other of the engine choices, because I don't really know that I would go with the 6.2 liter. But otherwise, I really, really like this truck. So look forward to our full review here on Daily Motor of the Silverado High Country. But with all that out of the way, I'm going to drive my last couple miles, and I will see you guys once we pull up to the pump. And 2.068 gallons in there for our final fill. 2.068 gallons of $5.59 premium fuel. All right, let's go ahead and do some math. So today's journey was 50.48 miles. Divide that by the 2.068 gallons of petrol that we just put into the Silverado, and that gives us 24.4 MPG. Now, right at the end of the journey, the cluster was reading out 22 MPG. So even if you were to take the car's average and my average and put them together, you'd get right around 23 MPG. So do with that information as you will. But either way, this Silverado has certainly beaten EPA's estimate of 20 MPG and is headed here towards the mid-20s for fuel economy. So using our math, excuse the ZL1 1LE firing up over there. Using our math here, 24.41 MPG, and we multiply that by this Silverado's 24-gallon fuel tank, gives you an effective highway cruising range of 580 miles. So you can go a pretty long ways here in this 6.2 liter powered Silverado. So pretty impressive figure, especially considering that EcoBoost Fords get around this same level. GM's V8s are usually pretty efficient, and as you can see, the 6.2 has done a pretty good job in today's test. So thank you all so much for watching. As I've stated before, make sure you stay tuned for our full review on this Silverado. It'll be linked down in the description, as well as any other videos that we have decided to film on this thing. But as for today, that will wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.